Hey guys, what is going on? And welcome back to another episode in my Football Manager series. This is episode number 7, and it's also the season finale as we wrap up our first year at Craven Cottage, where Premier League football has, of course, been secured. Before we get to the final game of the season, though, shall Fulham be getting on off camera? So, of course, in the last episode, you saw our win over Wolves, which basically confirmed survival. And after the Blades lost at the Etihad Stadium despite a 1-0 loss at home to Spurs, Premier League football was secured in the last episode. Just the 2 games off camera, and as you can see, 1 draw and 1 defeat in 2 very strange games. So we started with a 2-2 draw at home to Manchester United, so good to get a point there against one of the big boys. You can see by my lineup here, I picked a 4-2-2-2 diamond narrow gegenpress system, which is our backup tactic this year, which I haven't used that much. And this was just such a strange game, because I thought we'd get battered. When Martial scored in the first 2 minutes, I was like, okay, here we go. Floodgates have opened straight away. But Kenny Tate got us back on double turns 5 minutes later after a howler from David De Gea. And then Mason Greenwood put the Red Devils back in front. But we just kept pushing. We just kept pressing. We kept looking for a leveler, and we found it as well. Josh Maja's first goal of the season in stoppage time rescued a point. And I was thinking, I tell you what, lads, this gegenpress, this 4-2-2-2 diamond narrow system, against the big teams works quite well. So I'll use it again against Liverpool at Anfield. We'll probably get another point. We got thrashed 8-0. I literally couldn't understand how it worked really well against the Red Devils. And then we also had the heaviest defeat in Premier League history in the very next game against the champions. Yeah, lost the game by 8-0, and 7 of the 8 goals came in the first half. I will be completely honest. For a very long period of time, I thought we were going to see the game get into double digits, which funnily enough has actually happened this season in the game, but not in a game involving us. I think it was Leicester that scored 10 against someone. I'll try and find it if I can. But yeah, we lost the game by 8-0. I mean, literally, the second goal of the game from Diego Jota, I think Salah put in like a Rabona cross to him. And even 14 minutes in, Liverpool were just messing us around. I mean, we just got dominated. And to be honest, scoring 7 in the first half, they should have at least got to 9. But in the end, 8-0, they had to settle for 8. What can I say? I guess it wasn't that bad. But absolutely humiliated. Worst defeat of the season. That was very sad indeed. But I don't give a fuck, baby, because Fulham is staying in the Premier League. Yes, of course, in the last episode you saw we confirmed it. The bottom 3 has now been set heading into the final day. It's quite an anti-climactic final day in the Premier League as well. Man City have already been crowned champions. The top 4 is basically set. Only Arsenal can drop out of it if Chelsea win and they fail to match their result. Spurs could get in to the Europa League if, again, they get a point and Everton fail to match their result. But the bottom 3 is already confirmed. Sheffield United, Aston Villa, our opponents, and West Bromwich Albion are going down to the Championship. I tell you what, for next season, creativity has been a problem this year. Kearney's been poor. The inside forwards have been inconsistent. Jack Grealish staying in the Premier League, coming to Fulham? I mean, I doubt it. There's bigger interest from bigger clubs. I can't see him choosing us over one of the big boys. Anyway, final game of the season is indeed Aston Villa. Again, nothing really to play for in this one. We'll play it regardless, and we'll wrap up the season after the 90 minutes have been played. So let's head into the game, and this will be our team for the final time this season. Rodak is out with a slight injury. Other than that, everyone's fine. So Areola's in goal. Might play his final game for the club. I'm not sure whether I'm going to bring him back permanently. I can pay 11.37 million. Like, I'm fine paying that. He's well worth that. He's worth more than that, no doubt about it. But 145 grand a week. Fulham's wage structure is horrendous. That's one of the reasons why. Back 4 is Robinson, Porteous, Tosin Adarabioyo and Roberts with Reed and Zambo through the middle. Lookman, and again, not sure if Lookman's coming back next season. No optional future fee, but wouldn't be against bringing him back. And Onomah on the right with Ferguson getting a rare start, supporting our top scorer this year. One of the reasons we survived, Bobby Reed. On the bench, Wickens, Anderson, Brian, Teti, Lamina, who, by the way, if he plays one more game, I explained this a couple episodes ago, we will get that optional future fee triggered. I might just bring him off the bench just so that triggers the fee, and then we can decide whether we want to pick him up on a permanent deal or not. I don't think the deal gets completed officially. I think it's then my choice whether we want to negotiate with him or not, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. I'll probably bring him on regardless for the option. Kearney, Loftus-Cheek, Caballero, and Mitrovic as well. First and only game, season finale, means basically nothing, but come on Fulham, let's end with a win. I definitely do think that the players will look to sign in the summer window to give us the best chance of surviving next year as well. Because don't forget, whilst we survived this year, don't think next year is going to be us breaking into the top 10 and having an outside shot of qualification for the Europa League. I cannot see that happening because, again, our team is going to change massively in the summer window with all the player loan deals expiring. For players, I will look to sign in the summer window to try and strengthen us if I can find players who can strengthen us and give us, again, a good chance of staying up next season as well. I think they will come from these 3 relegated sides. And one of the reasons why, please don't take this the wrong way, Villa fans, but I'm kind of pleased Aston Villa are going down is because they've got so much talent in their side. Yes, there is some decent talent with the Blades and with West Brom as well, but you've got the likes of, again, Jack Grealish, Emi Martinez, the goalkeeper. I'm a big fan of Tyrone Mings. Douglas Luiz just launched that ball forward there as well. There's quite a few players that I'm definitely thinking next season we could try and snap up and strengthen our team with. Oh, and this man on the ball as well, Ollie Watkins. Big fan of Ollie Watkins. I really like him a lot. Obviously from a Nottingham Forest career mode, that's one of the reasons why. And right on cue, he's got the first goal of the game. Barkley drills it in, 16th goal of the year. He's been their top scorer this season as well. And again, 16 goals, pretty decent. So yeah, Watkins, possibly to give Reed a little bit of support up top. Wouldn't be against him next year. I'm not sure about the long-term future of Kearney as our main playmaker as well. I want to stay with the 4-2-3-1 because it's my favourite formation. But if we do keep the 4-2-3-1, I think we need a better playmaker. Kearney is so much better than he's been this season as Barkley heads in the second goal for Aston Villa. At least they're going down with a win. But yeah, I think for next season, I would not be against bringing in and spending a lot of money on a star playmaker. Because again, I think we can score. We do get chances. Lookman and as we know, Cavier and Onum have been quite inconsistent this year, but I want someone who can score as well as set them up. This is quite a poor way to end the season, this really, isn't it? As Matty Cash heads away that cross and Ross Barkley launches a counter-attack for Aston Villa. I mean, 8-0 away at Anfield, absolutely humiliated. And in this game as well, against a side they've got nothing to play for, already relegated with 3-0 down. If anyone thinks that next season we're going to have like a massive improvement and meteoric rise to finish in the top 10, just outside a European place, think again. I know he survived this year with a couple of games to go, but next season, again, with all the change we'll have in the summer window as well, so many loan players coming back and going back to their teams, I don't even know what our squad's going to look like next season, but it won't be much better than this one. I can tell you that much for sure. I think next season already, I'm thinking, it's going to be another struggle to stay up. Right, so I've just brought on Lamina because that triggers his extension. To be honest, again, the fee is so low at £6 million that I'd be a bit of a fool not to meet the 20 games, to be honest, because even if he does sign for us and I'm not too keen on him next season, that's a player we can easily make a profit on. There's no way we'd sell Lamina for under £6 million. So hopefully if we do need to negotiate a contract, he'll come back on a permanent deal. But again, as I mentioned a moment ago there, just looking at the current squad players we've got, yes, there are some really decent ones here. Zambo probably the best of the lot, but I think, again, next season, as Bobby Reed is denied by minors, it's probably going to be another season of struggle. It could be back-to-back seasons where we're scrapping for safety. I'm going to bring on Loftus-Cheek and Anderson, just because it will be their final games from their loan spells here. I don't think either will want to come back next season based on the way we've ended this season. Though I wouldn't bring RLC back. I'd love to have Anderson back on a permanent deal. And that is that. What a disappointing way to end the season. We had a great credible 2-2 draw against Manchester United and 11 goals conceded in 2 games and not a single one getting scored. So in the end, as you see the league table there, and there we go, Lamina does sign on a permanent deal. Which again, did I want to do that? I mean, to be honest, he's a decent player, but it's the wages that's the main concern. But then again, it'll be a 1-year deal, won't it? 2-year deal? What? He's they negotiated a contract behind me back. That's less than what he's getting paid right now. 10 grand a week less, and an extra year on the contract. And my least favourite clause, my most hated clause in the game, the unused substitute fee. Hate that clause. Well, fine, we can make a profit on it if we are to sell him. But anyway, yeah, so that does it wrap up the season then. What a weird anticlimactic way to end the season. In the end, Arsenal do finish in the top 4. As we know, Man City already won it, so they're alongside Liverpool, Manchester United in the Champions League next year. Chelsea, Everton going to the Europa League with Spurs in the Europa Conference League. And as we knew, the bottom 3 is going to be Aston Villa, Sheffield United and West Brom as well. So 15th place in the first season, 39 points. 10 wins in a 38 as well. And again, you look at the scoring charts here. We were the 4th lowest scorers in the division with only 41 goals this season. Defensively, we picked it up a bit in the second half of the season. Never mind the 8-0 loss to Liverpool. But scoring in the second half of the season sort of flipped to be our Achilles heel. 4th lowest scorers, and yeah, that will need to change next year. So we get £11.5 million for the prize money. Hang on a bloody second, Mr. Khan. Can I just read out what you've just told me? The board are delighted a team avoided relegation battle in the Premier Division this season. However, we at one stage looked like qualifying for the Champions League, so we shouldn't get too carried away. When exactly did we look like qualifying for the Champions League? What, before the first game of the season when the table was determined on alphabetical order? We never looked like qualifying for the Champions League. What are you on about? Okay, so we've got an end of season review here, but it's done in a different way to prior versions of FM. Never seen this before, obviously, so let's go through this together. The new arrivals. The season saw comings and goings, some of which proved to be shrewd signings and who contributed a lot over the course of the campaign. I love the fact that our best performer was a player that we loaned out after signing, and that says it all, really. A season to remember. The Cottagers season started badly, sinking to 17th by December. We're actually in a relegation zone in January, but they produced when it mattered and were able to avoid relegation. Yes, we were. Indeed. Again, the problem we had was mid-season. Winter was really harsh on our team. We picked up in springtime, though, and that was what helped us avoid the drop in the end, finishing in 15th place. As for moments to remember, what's this here? Biggest win was our 4-1 victory at the Hawthorns. Yep, I'd definitely say that. But to be fair, that 2-0 win on the opening day against the Magpies was massive, and that was indeed a match to remember as well. It sort of set the tone for the season, or so I hoped it would. And the goal of the season was Harrison Reed against Leighton Orient. Oh, that was a free kick, which I showed back in episode number 2. Can you not watch that like you used to be able to? Oh, that's poor FM. Come on now. And for anyone to watch my Norwich save, you won't be surprised to see this. The finances. It might not have been the best of seasons, but your prudence definitely helped the club's finances. That was basically the first 6 years in my Norwich save in a nutshell. Couldn't win anything to save our lives, but listen, we rose the club's bank balance pretty significantly. So yeah, in the end, just over 14 million for the sponsorship. Obviously, you get so much money for playing in the Premier League with the TV money as well, and 11.5 million for the competition prize money too. Our top 5 sales in shirts: Mitrovic, Cavallero, Kearney, Zambo, and Bobby Reed as well. I thought Reed would have been top, to be honest. We rotated the team a fair amount this season. However, our key players played a major role in how the season turned out. It was, of course, the 4-2-3-1. As for the accolades, what does that say here? Your hard work and effort paid off on the pitch, and such a feat didn't go unrewarded at our end-of-season awards ceremony. So, where are we here? Fans player of the season was Zambo. Everyone loves Zambo. Tossing young player of the season. Yep, agree with that too. Signing of the season was Ferguson. I mean, to be honest, any of the signings I made didn't have much of an impact, to be fair, so I guess that's fair enough. Reed scored the goal of the season. Bobby Reed was the top goal scorer. We knew that already. Kenny got the most assists with 6, and that's embarrassing for a playmaker. Only 6 assists. Reed had the most man of the match. Zambo had the highest average rating, and Lamina's pass accuracy, or most pass completed per 90 minutes, was the highest in the team. Hang on, what? How did Kenny get the most assists award when Connor Roberts had the same amount? I don't know. How does that get determined? I'm not entirely sure. Interesting. Oldest player though, Tom Kearney, 30 years old. That's strange for one of my saves. 30 years. He was our oldest player at 30. That's strange. Really? Come to think of it, that does make sense because obviously we sold. Who did we sell in the summer? We sold quite a few of our players in the 30s. Dennis Adoy was one. We loaned out Kevin McDonald, Fabricio, Ream went as well. So actually, no, it does make sense. 30 years old. That was our oldest player. That makes me feel incredibly old. But so for the 5-year plan, then that does change the vision for the future. For next season, once again, the board is sticking to what we did this year, which is just avoid relegation. So that's a real bonus there. They're not being very optimistic and very positive thinking just finish mid-table. No, avoid relegation. Finish clear of the bottom 3 and they'll be happy again. And again, just continue remaining in the Premier Division. I love the low expectations from the board here. This is perfect for a manager like me. Looking ahead to next season, I'm optimistic that we can avoid relegation. Staying up is going to be a huge challenge, but one I know this squad is up for. Well, let's hope so. But I mean, to be honest, mate, you're my best player, and there's a good chance you'll be leaving in the summer, so I don't think it matters to you. So we've got 3 players going to the Euros, 2 of which are on loan here, so that sort of says it all about the quality of players we've got at our disposal this year. Our youth category rating has dropped, that's never good to see. So what I'll do to end the season off and the episode as well is we will wait for the FA Cup to be played, the Champions League and Europa League finals to be played, and I'll run through the squad one final time. And I was just about to mention as well, wait for our initial budgets, and here they are right on cue. What are the board giving us for next season then? Ooh, that's too much. I think that's too much. Based on the club finances we've got, that's far too much. Oh, achievement unlocked, shrewd spender. Surprised I haven't had that one yet. But I mean, our bank balance will obviously rise once this gets allocated to, but that's still a bit too much for me, I think. I'm not going to spend all of that, no doubt about it. As you'll find out very quickly, managing the finances is really important to me in FM. You do not want to go into the red or even close to it. So, yeah, 37 million in the budget, but really, I'm looking to spend around 25 to 30 max for next season, he says. Watch me spend practically every single penny next year on players that have got ridiculously high mental attributes. But anyway, so we will wait for the Champions League games to be played and the Europa League as well. That is on the weekend, I believe. And once we've done that, we'll run through the squad. And that will do it to end the first season. So as I just processed through to Sunday, I thought this was the day of the CL final. In fact, it was actually yesterday. PSG beat Inter by a 0-0. These are the semis and the quarters, and I'll show you the first knockout round for those interested as well. And as for the Europa League, this year it was won by, wait for it, is it Euro League in FM? Euro Cup, that's the one. Manchester United. Interesting. Manchester United beating Napoli in the final of the Euro Cup this year. And again, I'll show you the knockout stages this year as well. I think it'll be a very long time before we're competing in these competitions with Fulham. I mean, I feel confident we'll get there at some point. But if you've been a fan of me for a while, you'll know it takes me quite a long time to get my team up to a very decent level. So the final thing I'll do is just find out who's coming up to the Premier League from the Championship next season. That is going to be Cardiff, who won the playoff final, plus Norwich, no surprises there, and Brentford, the Bees, finally getting over the hurdle and reaching the Premier League as well. So that will do it then for the first season in our Football Manager series, guys. We thank you if you have enjoyed it. And if you have, then please do drop a like. Oh yeah, Tosin's grown a determination rating. I'm as happy as that as I am about us surviving in the Premier League. But have a great day though, guys. It's been an interesting first season, no doubt about it. A horrendous mid-season, but after relatively decent ends and starts of the campaign, we do indeed avoid a drop in the first season. But it is going to be one heck of a weird summer transfer window, I'll say that right now. With all the players that have been loaned in, with all the players that have been loaned out, I'd say about 50% of the team is going to be new heading in to season 2. I don't know what we're going to be doing with around 25 to 30 million pound to play with. This guy's coming back permanently. But it is going to be a bizarre, absolutely bizarre summer transfer window. So whatever you do, do not miss the first episode of the second season, because I have no idea how this Fulham team is going to look. Your guess is as good as mine at this stage. Have a great day there, guys. Much love to you all. And I will indeed see you for the start of Season 2 in our Football Manager, say, with, again, what I'm sure will be a crazy summer transfer window.